In this upcoming clip of Noam Chomsky, he criticizes the tactics and policies of Donald Trump, particularly regarding issues of social justice, inequality, and the scapegoating of marginalized groups. Chomsky's views on Trump's scapegoating tactics often emphasize the exploitation of vulnerable populations to deflect attention from systemic issues. Chomsky has argued that Trump's rhetoric and policies often target marginalized groups such as immigrants, refugees, and ethnic minorities, blaming them for societal problems in a way that deflects attention from deeper structural issues such as economic inequality, corporate power, and the erosion of democratic norms. Now off to this wonderful clip, and to follow some other key aspects Noam brings up.
Within some not long period, it'll become clear to the working class voters for Trump, there are others like the religious groups and so on, to the working class voters that they're not getting what they were promised. There aren't going to be steel mills coming back to Indiana. There's not going to be more coal mining in West Virginia. What happens then when they're disillusioned? The reflexive reaction of an autocratic state to disillusionment is to scapegoat, blame somebody else, blame people who are even more vulnerable, like here, blame the immigrants, blame the North Africans, not look at what's happening. Blame the North Africans, but don't look at the fact that 2/3 of the people in jail are North Africans. Don't look at that and what it means. Similarly in the United States, similarly in Britain, the migrants that they're blaming there are from Europe, not from Africa, not from the Middle East. Well, that's the kind of reaction that is almost reflexive. Blame people who are more vulnerable, okay? See if you can divert attention away from the core problems to the people who are really in trouble, make them the problem. So you take a look at American voters for Trump, say they're not necessarily, the popular base is not deeply impoverished. They're people who are kind of cast aside by the neoliberal policies, but they live, they have houses, they have cars, and so on. Their anger is directed at people more vulnerable than they are. The image that's been used correctly to describe them is that they see themselves as standing in a line. They've been working hard all their lives. Their parents worked hard. They gradually moved forward, the American way. Ahead of them in the line, there are people who are moving into the stratosphere with huge wealth. But that doesn't bother them because that's the American myth. You work hard, you get wealth. What bothers them is the people behind them in the line, people who are worthless, like immigrants or blacks, who are being helped by the federal government and put in front of them in line. It's not happening, but that's the picture. The federal government helps the people behind me to get ahead of me. So I hate the federal government and I hate those worthless people, not what's really happening. That's the kind of thing the kind of scapegoating that goes on. There's plenty of examples of it. Hitler and the Jews, for example, an extreme case. It's happening right here in front of your eyes in France. And it will be happening in the United States, very likely.
Chomsky's critique of Trump's scapegoating tactics typically revolves around the idea that by directing anger and blame towards these vulnerable groups, Trump and other political elites distract from addressing the root causes of societal problems. Instead of confronting issues like economic injustice or corporate influence in politics, Trump's rhetoric often encourages division and xenophobia. Chomsky's perspective highlights the importance of recognizing the broader socio-political context in which scapegoating occurs and the implication it has for social cohesion, democracy, and human rights. He has consistently emphasized the need for solidarity and collective actions to challenge such divisive narratives and address the underlying injustices they obscure. Well, I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. If you like, you can become a member of the channel. Now, take care and bye-bye.